Hello everyone, Dr. Mike here, TCOM 101. In this very brief video, I want to talk about a part of media history that reflects some very unethical behavior, especially in the world of television. So I want to discuss the great quiz show scandals of the 1950s. This was a real low point for television in terms of social responsibility and ethical behavior. Now, back in the 1950s, this was the popular stage of TV, the first decade really of television, and the quiz show, the big money quiz show, became very popular quickly. It was one of the most popular genres. There was a lot of drama and excitement, who's going to win, and big money was at stake, and they were very cheap to create these programs, but it became an ill-fated genre in U.S. TV history. Why? Well, because of a big scandal. Now, in 1955, there was a show called The $64,000 Question. It was a huge hit. It racked up some of the highest ratings in TV history up to that time. And so many other similar sorts of game shows and quiz shows went on the air. Now, the quiz show scandal involved several of these shows, and the allegations, which proved to be true, were that these shows were rigged. These shows, a handful of them, were exposed as very elaborate frauds. Okay, the most notorious of these was a show called 21 on NBC, and the main villain here is the notorious Charles Van Doren. Charles Van Doren was a young university professor who agreed to appear as a contestant on the show. And he was such a popular contestant that the network decided it would help him stay on the show by cheating. This was a cheating scandal. Okay, well, there was a whistleblower for this. In 1958, a disgruntled former contestant named Herbie Stemple went public with accusations that the show was rigged and that the contestants were given the answers and coached prior to the actual contest. Okay, so cheating, rigging. They did a great job of coaching. They trained Charles Van Doren, for example, to look confused or like he was wondering a lot and wiping the sweat off his brow and pausing for long moments, all to build some drama into this. He had to be coached on how to act. Anyway, this was a real low point for television when this scandal became public. People wanted to trust TV and TV game shows. And eventually Van Doren had to admit that he was part of this rigged TV program, and he lost his job because of it and his reputation. Now, there was a big firestorm that resulted. The public got very angry. Can you imagine, like today, of a show like Dancing with the Stars or American Idol, if we found out that the show was rigged by the producers? People would be very upset. Okay, back in the 50s, the firestorm over the quiz show scandal, according to Variety, injured broadcasting more than anything ever before in the public eye. Hey, even the president jumped in. The president at that time was Dwight D. Eisenhower, and he said the entire matter was a terrible thing to do to the American people. Why would people cheat like this? Well, because of greed. What seems to be infinite? Two things, the universe and the greed of humankind. Of course it was all about greed, ratings, and profit and money. Now, there were a lot of people to blame. The producers of the show, the sponsor of the show, the contestants, they were all part of this, and they all should have been held accountable. In 1959, there was even a congressional committee held hearings into the quiz show scandal. Now, what the fallout? Nobody went to jail. okay? Although some careers were hurt, nobody went to jail. But there was two outcomes. One, the quiz show scandal made the networks forever leery of single sponsorship programming. Having one sponsor for the entire program gives that sponsor a lot of power to determine the content. Also, Congress made rigging a quiz show a federal crime, so it is illegal. Now, if you really want to see the Hollywood version of this, there's a great movie that came out in 1994 called Quiz Show. Okay, and it takes a nice in-depth look, and it's very historically accurate. I would highly recommend this movie to get an idea about what really happened in the 1950s during the great quiz show scandal. Now, could something like this happen again? What about the modern world of, let's say, reality TV? Is it possible that some of these shows are rigged? Oh, come on. Jerry Springer is totally real, isn't it? Reality TV? Yeah, right. Reality TV is an oxymoron. All of the shows listed here, okay, have been accused of rigging, of faking, of planting, of somehow faking, okay, what they're really presenting on the air. Now, I would agree with all of these except WWE SmackDown. We all know that wrestling is real and never fake. But I'm sure a lot of these shows are engaged in unethical behavior. Well, that's my brief take on the quiz show scandal of the 1950s, and I hope you really consider my question about current reality TV shows. I think they should be viewed very skeptically, and the same ethical issues exist today that existed 60 years ago, and these involve greed and money and misrepresentation of reality. Anyway, thank you for watching this little video. Please continue to take care of yourself and each other and the entire Ball State community, and stay well. So long.